All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What is going on, everybody? It is hump day. We're halfway there, guys. I'm so excited. Today felt like a Monday for me. I don't know how it felt for y'all, but today just sucked. I'm ready to get over it. That's why I'm so anxious to talk sports today with my good friend Jonathan Mathis and Big Baby Sports over here. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Can't complain. Tomorrow's a national holiday for me with baseball back in action. So I can't wait for opening day tomorrow. I'm excited.
I'm doing wonderful, man. Thanks for having me on this platform. It's my debut, man. Looking forward to this journey, man. Let's get it, man.
Oh, welcome. We got to take it easy on you. No, we don't. Who are we?
No,
we don't take it easy on anybody.
Y'all can keep it 100 and I'll keep it 100 back. It's all good.
We don't take it easy on anybody. But, man, Jonathan, you said tomorrow's opening day. Are you like me, like for you on opening day, because I know you're a big baseball guy and everything. When March Madness is here, you just sit back, get the corn chips right next to you, and you don't move from that couch, and your butt print is on that couch, and there is nothing else going on in the world except for your baby girl, of course. But other than that, there's nothing else in the world. Not even your wife can bother you. You're like, get out of the TV. That's me. I don't know about you.
That's me. Only one that could distract me is my baby girl. Everything else, I tune out. I'm in a different universe when baseball is back. I should put a sign up tomorrow and say, do not disturb. Please let me have peace as I watch these games. So, yes, I do be glued to the TV. I am a big baseball fan, so I will be watching every game tomorrow, and I don't want any distractions. A baby crying is enough. I could tolerate that, but everything else, I'm not going to put up with it. Not tomorrow.
A quick question. How old is he? How old is she?
She'll be 3 months on Saturday.
Just word of advice. These are the easy times to watch sports. When she becomes 2 and 3 years old, like she'll know exactly when to, like last night, there was like 2 minutes left in the game and it was real close. Daddy, bedtime story. I'm like, there's 2 freaking minutes left in the game. Come on, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
You know what? I'm preparing myself for those days, because I know those days are coming.
And of course, the girlfriend and wife will be like, I'm busy doing something else.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But, all right. Let's not waste any more time because I know people are busy and I know you don't want to hear about our family stories or anything like that. But let's get into the hot topic that everyone's talking about because it has been besides March Madness, a slow sports news story. We have to talk about Kevin Durant and his antics on Michael Rappaport. How damaging are the tweets that Kevin Durant has supposedly made to him and his family? Jonathan, I'll start with you.
I mean, how can we actually believe it's his, Twitter account? This is a guy who had several burner accounts. Like, it's really hard to believe if any of this stuff is true. Did he actually have this much time, this much leisure time to go on Twitter and make all these ridiculous, nonsensical comments to an actor who runs his mouth, who's a loudmouth? Did he really have all this time in the world to use all his energy and go on Twitter and unleash some rants and say some of the most ridiculous things to a drama queen? Mm-hmm. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, it's a hard it's hard to really understand what really took place here. It's very difficult to say what really happened because we don't know. It's hard to believe anything that uh, Kevin Durant says on Twitter because remember he has several burner accounts, so we really don't know. But I think this stuff is just ridiculous. I mean, it just gives us something to talk about. It must be a slow day in the newsroom this week because this is a big storm that has created a firestorm. And think of it like this, Trey and Big Baby. If we didn't have social media, we wouldn't be hearing about this at all. But now that we live in the age of social media, we hear about this kind of nonsense. We know what these athletes are eating on their off time. We know what they're doing at their homes, when they're not on the basketball court. We know that an actor has beef with another athlete because of social media. So if there wasn't any social media, all this stuff would be thrown out the window. First of all, we wouldn't even be hearing about any of this stuff. We wouldn't be knowing what's going on in a lot of these guys' personal lives. And frankly, who cares? Why do we care? What I care about is how well Kevin Durant will perform when he returns to the basketball court. That's the only thing that's relevant to me. What is he able to bring to his team? What can he offer when he returns healthy to the basketball court? And if he did say these things, shame on him because he should be, focusing his energy on rehabbing and getting healthy so he could come back for his team and be healthy when the playoffs come. That should be Kevin Durant's number one priority. Not what someone says about him on Twitter, not not anything that a crazy actor is doing, because all that does is just create a distraction. And one other thing too that could create such a distraction that it starts to float into the locker room and cause more chaos. And you don't want that because once that gets into the locker room, it not only creates a ruckus, but it can also divide the damn basketball team. And that's the last thing the Brooklyn Nets need, because I think it's going to happen regardless, because they have a bunch of guys on there who have ego trips. So, I mean, this is not a good look if any of this is true for Kevin Durant.
Yeah, all right, good points. Big Baby, your turn, baby. What do you have?
I believe it's real kind of because Kevin Durant, him had an exchange on Instagram. He snapped back at me because I said you ruined the NBA, and he responds back, "I love you too." And then I screenshotted it, and he was like, "Why are you screenshotting? Trying to get clout?" I was like, "No." And he just like got this attitude. I was like, "Why are you so butthurt all the time?" He's like, "I'm not butthurt. It's only when you respond with disrespectful comments." I go, "How am I disrespecting when I just said you ruined the NBA by going Golden State?" So I kind of believe that tweet, or was it a DM on Instagram, or was it a tweet?
See, I personally do not know. I just saw the screenshots. I don't know if it was an Instagram or a DM from Twitter. I honestly couldn't tell you.
And here's the thing. I did see it too as well. I did see Michael Rappaport saying, or they were saying some disrespectful stuff, and I'm not surprised them. They should do what they should do. Just get in the ring and just box it out and squash it after that, and keep it
I'll
pushing.
pay to see that.
Yeah, I would too.
I would pay to see that.
Because Michael Rappaport, knowing he's always talking mess, disrespecting LeBron. Remember when he went to the finals and was just talking to all his fans, the Cavalier fans? It's like, one of these days someone's gonna hurt Michael Rappaport, like knock him out. You're gonna see a video one of these days, someone knocking him out for disrespecting somebody.
He just needs help. That's all.
He just needs to. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I agree a little bit. I think this is a non-story. If he did say it, then yeah, he needs to be fined, suspended, whatever the case may be. Because we all know Kevin Durant's response to his fans. This ain't the first time he has beef with fans and everything. We all know about their burner accounts and everything like that. But at the same time, Ian, I'm sorry, Ian, I'm not disrespecting Michael Rappaport. He's a jerk. I'm just going to be straight up. I don't care if he never gets on my show. I don't care. I really don't like the guy. I'm just going to tell you straight up. I think he's a pansy, and I think he just hides behind his mic and makes millions of dollars. If he did, Kevin Durant made these threats, you're telling me this guy doesn't have bodyguards or security people or someone to help? Like, why are you blasting it all on social media? Just because he's a Knicks fan, I do believe, too, isn't he? He likes the Knicks or Boston Celtics. He's from Boston. He's one of those teams. Yeah, he's not a Boston. Yeah, he's not a Brooklyn Nets fan. And so, is it possible Kevin Durant said all this? I wouldn't doubt it. But do I think he did? No. And the only reason I'm believing this, no, I don't believe him. He might have said something to him, but not to that caliber. And I think if it was a true story, you'd be hearing all over ESPN. You'll be hearing about NBA investigating them. You would hear about Ramona Shelburne, Rachel Nichols, Chris Bouchard, everybody just talking. Nick Wright would have a field day with this because it's LeBron would never do this, but that's a topic for another day thing. But is it possible that, yeah, I mean, Kevin Durant is known for not shutting up and dribble. He voices his opinion and he's very vocal about it. As Big Baby says, I know a lot of people who respond. He responds back. I never seen him respond back to the way he like that tweet, and that's why I believe everyone's proven innocent until proven guilty. That's just me, but I'm tired of talking about this story. I don't know about y'all, but I want to move on to another story.
It's really silly.
It is. It's there's a slow. It could have been for attention for movie or something else. Who knows? Who knows what revenue?
It could have really been staged. They could have planned this out just for a show.
Yeah. So sticking with the NBA and sticking with the drama queen, I guess people are what they're calling drama field, New York or Brooklyn Nets. Are they building a stack house? And it like, if so, do you think it's a problem for the NBA? Big Baby, what do you think? Are they really building a stag team that it's not fair?
At the end of the day, man, I want the competition. I want the Lakers to dethrone Brooklyn and bring all the smoke. I want all the smoke. As far as the all-star team that Brooklyn has, I feel like they're doing that because what if Kevin Durant's injury is bad right now? What if they think it's like, what if they got Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge to say maybe Kevin Durant's not fully healthy? Shout out to Corey from Mad About Sports Podcast. He was talking to me about this on his channel. That they got those two players. Maybe Kevin Durant's not going to come back, and that is it. Yes, is a calf, right? Or is it
hamstring?
Hamstring. Yeah, those can, those can hurt you really bad. So hopefully he comes back because if somehow, then let's have like I say this: Lakers, Brooklyn Nets in the NBA Finals, fully healthy Brooklyn, fully healthy Lakers, and Lakers beat Brooklyn in the NBA Finals. I don't want to hear any more LeBron and Kevin Durant debate. Regardless, LeBron's better than Kevin Durant. And I feel like, my personal opinion, I feel like Kevin Durant needs superstar teams to beat LeBron. That's how I personally feel. You may be different, Jonathan. That's how I feel.
Man, you know what? I think this hurts Brooklyn more than anything. I don't think it so much hurts the NBA. I think it hurts the franchise. I think they committed franchise suicide by, stacking this team. I think there's too many personalities on one team, and I think there's just at some point these guys are gonna bump heads, and you guys are gonna come back and say Jonathan knew what he was talking about. Because guys, look, it's just a matter of time before something happens in that locker room, and chemistry doesn't take shape, and these guys are not getting along. You're gonna hear about it. It's gonna be a lot of drama. I think this team is heading towards an implosion. I'm sorry, an implosion. I think, this team is going to implode at some point. And, you guys are going to come back and say I was right on this. Because, look, you have James Harden, you have Kyrie Irving, right? And you have Blake Griffin, who's never been the same since the injuries. So I don't know how effective he's going to be off the bench, or even if whatever you decide to use him as a starter, off the bench, whatever. I don't see this working. I just don't see these guys mushing well at all. I really don't. Again, you got too many ball dominant players, guys who want to be in the spotlight, guys with ego trips, guys. I think this is hurting them more than it's hurting the NBA.
And this is why I kind of like being moderator, because I get the final word and y'all can't override me. So here we go. It sounds like two Laker fans crying that, oh my God, they're stacked. Oh my God. In all reality, they're not stacked at all if you really want to look at it. Yeah, they have James Harden. We all know James Harden's what he does in the regular season. Let's just be honest. He's really good in the regular season. But it all comes down to the postseason. All this is on James Harden. This is James, because look at it. Kevin Durant's got 2 rings. I don't care if it's with the great Golden State Warrior team or not. He got 2 rings, and he helped him beat LeBron James in both those series. Kyrie Irving hit the big shot over Steph Curry to win that game 7 to get his first ring. James Harden, on the other hand, has been known to choke in elimination games and playoff series. That's where it all lies. Now, can Kyrie Irving keep his mental health? I don't know. I like Kyrie Irving as a basketball player. I think he has one of the best handles in the league. But Kevin Durant has proven he can go to a superstar team and not be ball dominant. He doesn't need the ball. He can move without the ball and everything like that. I just think now those 3 hit him, those we're fine with. Now, on the other hand, Blake Griffin, let's not get started. He's not a superstar anymore. He never was a superstar. All he was a dunk addict, and made highlight reels with Chris Paul throwing lobs at him. He was never really all that good. Let's just be honest with ourselves. Yeah. And then LaMarcus Aldridge. I'm sorry. Spurs are a playoff contending team. Am I correct? Where they were, or they still are, right? If you're good, you're not being bought out. I don't care if you're last year of your contract or not. You're not getting bought out. He's not good anymore. The Spurs know it. That's why they bought him out. Mm-hmm. He's not going to help this team. I don't care what LaMarcus Aldridge says. Mm-hmm. He's not going to help him with his defensive IQ. He's not the same player anymore. Yeah, he can probably space the ball out and everything like that. Now, if you just take those before the trade up of buyout market and everything like that, I still have the Nets winning the championship just because of Kevin Durant, if he's fully healthy, and Kyrie Irving, because they've both been there, done that. And I think James Harden is, I wouldn't say mature enough, because I don't think he's ever going to get mature, but I think that he's aware that he's getting older now, and he's got to learn how to win a championship. And I think Brooklyn gave him that best option with Kevin Durant and 2 players who already won championships. Now, going back to the other person, I don't want to hear LeBron started all this. Let's just be honest with ourselves. The people saying the Celtics, whatever. No, LeBron started this with Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade in their primes, and LeBron James, all 3 in their primes. The Celtics did it with guys who are at the end of their career. Let's just be straight up and honest with ourselves.
And the Lakers actually started it, if you really want to go way back. Because they built that super team with Kobe, Shaq, Kobe.
And how'd that work out? How'd that work out?
Well, they were victimized, by the Detroit Pistons in an upset.
So that's the point I was going to get to. You had that stacked team, and you had a Detroit Pistons team who Chauncey Billups can argue is probably the only true great whatever player. And they played better as a team. This is great for the NBA. You want to know why? Because we're talking about it. Now we're all rooting for Brooklyn to lose. Am I correct? We all want them to lose. We're going to sit there every night. If they lose in the playoffs, we're like, oh, my God, yeah, I told you. Just like the Dallas Mavericks when the Miami Heat were the better team, but the Dallas Mavericks, or they weren't the better team, they had the better players. But the Dallas Mavericks and Rick Carlisle had the better team. And now that's why I think the Lakers are in trouble. I don't even think the Lakers are making it out of the Western Conference. I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. And I'm a Laker fan. I just don't think they're going to do it. I honestly think the Clippers are going to beat them in the Western Conference. I think the Clippers are going to – I really do. I think Clippers match up good with them. If they somehow meet in the playoffs, I think that's who it is. Because the Lakers got to be careful. The Lakers got to be careful because with AD and LBJ out, they have no scoring. Yeah, they added Drummond. Okay, we're a big team to do. They have no scoring. They're in trouble dropping all the way to losing home court advantage. And, that they're actually playing at home court. So that's why I'm really scared about. I don't thought everyone's, but that's a topic for another day. This Brooklyn Nets team is good for the NBA because we are talking about them. We want to see good or bad. They're the villains now, whatever the case may be. We want to see how Kyrie, Kevin, and James Harden are going to. Yeah, Blake Griffin and LaMarcus Aldridge are a great story and all, but we're seeing right now. We're talking about them. We're making it relevant, and we're rooting for everyone to be. Now, I personally think if Joel Embiid's healthy, I think the Philadelphia 76ers can actually contend with them and make it a great series, maybe even 7-game series. But that's if Joel Embiid's healthy and if Ben Simmons can actually shoot the ball outside the paint, which I don't think you can. But if Topo Harris and everyone else is going on, I think that they have a legitimate shot. But that's just my take. I don't know anything, but all I know is we're talking about the Brooklyn Nets, and that's what the NBA wants. It's a drama-full league, and What's the one trade deadline we look forward to every year, or the NBA offseason free agency? It's NBA free agency and the trade deadline. They have a special show on it every freaking year, and nothing ever really happens. So
Right.
that's what the NBA is. It's drama-filled league. But I will say this about the NBA. I never want to see another veto trade ever again after that Chris Paul to the Laker thing with all this crap going on with Brooklyn. That's wrong. That was totally wrong. And I'm a Laker fan. I'm not. I really don't like little.
That happened under David Stern's watch.
It did, and that's what I'm saying. It better never happen again with one of the greatest commissioners in this league, in any sports whatsoever. Everyone respects him. What's his name? Dang it. Silver. Adam Silver. So I don't want to hear anything else about that. But
well, you're right though. Every great NBA story needs a villain, and
exactly
now we have that with the Brooklyn Nets.
In the early 2000s, it was the Lakers, and then it was. It took a little break, I guess you can say, but then no one liked Boston, and then no one liked Miami, and now no one liked Golden State, and now no one's gonna like Brooklyn. It's just this thing that's going on and on and on right now. But I will say this: if James Harden doesn't get out, make it the finals, and wins the finals, and he chokes like he always does, or doesn't show up, don't talk to me about him being a Hall of Famer. I'm sorry. That's just my take. Anyway, going to one Kevin Durant teammate and James Harden to another teammate, former teammate of Kevin Durant. That's the old Russell Westbrook. Where do you have him ranked, Jonathan, as the in today's point guards?
I'm sorry, but he puts up great numbers, right? But his numbers don't mean anything to me. I mean, he does the same thing every single year. You know, I mean, I get it. He's a triple-double machine. You know, he jacks up a lot of shots. 50% of the time he makes them or breaks them. He either, makes them or misses them. It's just like a guy who either strikes out a lot in baseball, but then when he connects with the ball, he hits a home run. Well, that's the same thing you see with Russell Westbrook. I don't know where I would rank him, but he's definitely not in the top 25.
Ooh, not top 25 of the whole NBA.
I mean, that's not to be disrespectful. I personally like him. I like his emotions. I like that, he plays the game with a lot of emotion. He raises his intensity level. And, the guy has game. The guy is good. He's a local kid, too. He's from Long Beach, which is not very far from here. He went to UCLA. So he's well known in this part of Southern California. And he was a huge Kobe fan. He idolized Kobe growing up. He wanted to be just like him. But I know this might sound like blasphemy, but I just don't see him in my top 25 at all. I don't know where you would rank him because, I just think there's so many other players who are simply better than him from past to present.
Well, the key word is today's NBA. He's not in the top 20 in today's NBA. That's the key. All time, maybe back he'd be top. I don't know. But like you said, I'm with you. I'm actually with you. I like his determination. I like how he plays hard every game. I like how he wanted to be loyal to Oklahoma City until Oklahoma City wanted to save money and got rid of him. And I just feel like he's very low. I think he's a great family man. I love Russell Westbrook. But he just doesn't make his teammates better, and he really doesn't, which sucks. He's a stat packer. He really is. He stays in games late in like blowouts and tries to get that. He forces try to get assists in, and then whenever he's not making it, he thinks he's a closer, and he's not. He's not a 3-point maker. He's not. He's good at taking the ball to the rim, but when you take that away, he's not a great jump shooter. He has that little the little pogo stick jump shot or whatever the case may be. He's not. He'll hit it 1-3. And then he thinks he's hot and start jacking up Steph Curry kind of shots. He doesn't know how to make his teammates better, and we saw that. Yeah, he took a crappy Oklahoma City. I think it had more to do with coaching than anything else. I think Billy Donovan did a fantastic job with what he had, making the playoffs and everything. And we saw it with Paul George. Sam Presti's got to take some with the Oklahoma City thing too, because what has Sam Presti actually done? He hasn't won a championship. He had the three-headed monster and Kevin Durant. They're all young and everything, But yeah, after they made they traded James Harden to save money. So Russell Westbrook's kind of had a raw deal and all that. But I love his energy. I love how he gives his 110%. But it's just he doesn't know how to make his teammates better, like a Chris Paul, like a Steph Curry, like a Magic Johnson, like someone like that. Everyone like Steph Curry's like, yeah, if you look at Steph Curry's assist numbers, yeah, they're down like five assists a game. But see, if you're really true basketball fan, you see what he does. He passes the ball. He sees the play beforehand. He passes it to the guy because he knows he's going to pass it to the other guy to make an open shot.
Mm-hmm.
He makes his teammates better. He moves without the ball. Russell Westbrook, sometimes he passes the ball and he just stands there. That's basically it. And I love Russell Westbrook. He plays hard. He was more of a shooting guard. He was a shooting guard transferred into a point guard. He was a shooting guard in UCLA. I think. I'm not 100% sure. He's more of a shooting. Yeah.
He was a combo guard.
Yeah, he's a combo guard. I mean, there's really no point guard here. I mean, Steph Curry's leading the league in points almost, and he's a point guard, but he's really not. He's really a shooting guard, but whatever the case may be. But I just think I hate agreeing with you all the time, but this is right. He's just not. There's just something off about Russell Westbrook. It's never been there. And Kevin Durant saw that, and that's why he went to Golden State, where he wanted to play with Steph Curry and make his game better.
And in today's NBA, anyone could put up 50-plus points. I mean, because it's not this, these players today are not as physical. They're not as aggressive. And,
if you barely touch the guy, it's a foul now. If you put two hands on him, it's a foul. It's ridiculous.
Right. It's ridiculous. So anyone could, put up the numbers. Can you, like you alluded to, can you make your teammates better? That's something Russell Westbrook can. And part of that's because he is a selfish player. He's very selfish. He's not an unselfish player. He doesn't know how to share the ball. He's not great when it comes to moving the ball and doesn't share the wealth. So, I mean, that's part of the problem with Russell Westbrook. And then he, decides to take a lot of shots, and either it's his lucky day or it isn't. And sometimes he's taking off nights, and, that's not a great player to me. That's not a player that's worthy of top 25, because you have to do that on a consistent basis. And that's something we don't really see from Russell Westbrook too much.
Yeah, which sucks. I mean, I feel like if he had another play, like a veteran because he came up with Kevin Durant and James Harden when they were all young and everything. I feel like if he would have had a Chris Paul, if you would have put Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook together instead of James Harden and Chris Paul together, I feel like that combination would have taught Russell Westbrook how to be a better point guard and how to make your team that leadership. I feel like Russell Westbrook has never had that before, and I feel like he would have benefited greatly from that if he would have had someone. But he's always been the guy. He had a great rookie season, second year, made it to the NBA Finals. And then all that got to his head, and then he thought he was this one player, and he really wasn't, and he just didn't really figure it. That I don't know. That's just my opinion.
He never adjusted his style of play.
Yeah, it's his way or the highway, basically. Yeah, that's all it is.
That way, but I will acknowledge that he's a great family man. I follow him on his Facebook page, and I've seen the pictures of him and his boys, and the Toy Story birthday party theme that he did with his son. I thought that was adorable.
Yeah, I have no problem with Russell Westbrook. I think he's a great guy. I think he's a great. The only problem I have with him is his wardrobe, and I don't understand it.
Some elaborate clothing there.
Yeah, like my wife. Yeah, my wife does not like sports whatsoever, and we'll sit there and watch just to see what Russell Westbrook's going to wear to the arena one night. And she go, "Oh my God, what the hell is he wearing?"
Yeah, very peculiar. Very.
Same thing with Cam Newton. I'm like, what the hell? These guys, they think it's like whatever. Like it's fashion. I don't get it. Maybe that's why I'm not a fashion guy. Maybe that's why I don't go to the Met. Maybe that's why I don't go. I don't know. But that's the only thing I have against Russell Westbrook. But maybe his wife and his children like it. I don't know. Whatever makes the family happy, keep doing what you're doing, Russell Westbrook.
Maybe they need to hire a new stylist.
Yeah. But anyway, let's just hop right along in the association. Now, the Western Conference has a leader, and it is not anyone you would think it would be. It's not the Lakers. It's not the Spurs. It's not the Clippers. It's not even the Denver Nuggets, who everyone thought might have a chance at it. It's the Utah Jazz. Are you buying the Utah Jazz? I don't know.
It's tough to tell right now because it's still kind of fairly early. You know, I know it's getting late in the regular season, and we're approaching the playoffs.
1 month away, baby.
Yeah, 1 month. But this Utah Jazz team, what they have is very special. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is a legit scorer. I mean, he's putting up points. He is an emerging superstar in this league. I think it's time to put some respect on his name and say he is a superstar. I think a lot of people disrespect him. They don't, pay a lot of attention to him. And that's the guy we should be paying attention to because he's very humble, And
He is. He's a very nice guy.
I mean, he's just a great person all the way around, and his game speaks for itself. And then you have Michael Conley, who looks like it seems to me that he has refined his shot. I don't know what he's done. I don't know if his new child that was born a year ago has made a difference in his life. I think sometimes that helps us refocus on doing things better. It can either do two things. It can make us refocus lives, or it could send us into a tailspin. And I think what it's done for him, it's made him, get focus again. And he's hitting the threes left and right, man. He is knocking them down. He has that smooth jump shot. And then they're well coached, too. Let's give Quinn Snyder some love, man. He's done a terrific job coaching this Utah Jazz team. I like the Jazz, but do I think they are deep enough to go to the Western Conference Finals and come out of the West? Heck no, because you have the Clippers. I mean, you have the Lakers. I know we talked about this earlier, but if the Lakers get healthy, remember, they're still the team to beat. If they get LeBron and Anthony Davis both back, I mean, they're still the team to beat. But I just don't think the Jazz can beat a team like the Clippers or the Lakers if the Lakers are fully healthy. I just don't see it in a 7-game series. Maybe right now, because everyone, is playing with a different mentality. But once the playoffs come, you up your game, you take your game to a different level, and it's a totally different ballgame.
You're right. I mean, I think I hate agreeing. Where's Freddie at when I need him?
This show would have been more drama-filled tonight if he was on here.
Oh, it would have been hot. I was already ready to argue, counter-argue.
It would have been.
Let's just be honest with ourselves. The NBA is all about been there, done that. Utah Jazz haven't been there, done that. It's all about the playoffs. We all know that. It has nothing to do. And I'm so sick. Yeah, you brought up the Lakers. And yeah, here I go. I was so prepared for Friday night. So you're going to hear my ramble about LeBron James. Everyone's talking about, when LeBron comes healthy, it doesn't matter what seeding you are and everything. I'm sorry. That was the East Coast when they all sucked. Let's just be honest. There was no competition in the East Coast. This is the Western Conference, baby. This is where all the superstars basically are, unless you're in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. It's harder. It's going to be harder. I mean, because you have a Spurs team who's a number 7 seed right now. You have a Golden State Warrior team. If they can just ever find another shooter, someone can also get hot and help Steph Curry come, they can beat you on any given night. But you got to beat them 4 times. You got to go through the Clippers. You got to go through a revergence. I guess it's revergence. I don't know. I'm trying to use big words. I'm trying to expand my vocabulary. And the Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets got a new vibe of youth with that Aaron Gordon trade. I think that made them one of the best teams in the Western Conference. Yep. So now if they get Jamal Murray coming into place, I think they'll easily beat the Utah. The Utah Jazz, you're right. I love Donovan Mitchell. I love Quinn Snyder. I love Conley Jr. Conley, I love. He's one of my best players. Never picked up a technical foul. That's hard to do in the NBA. That really is very hard. But they haven't been there and done that. Yeah, Donovan Mitchell had a great playoffs last year against Murray when they went back and forth with the 50-40 games and all that. But that was a bubble. We're all seeing that the bubble was really not real basketball. It was AAU ball. I mean, you're seeing that right now with the Miami Heat.
So championship to win.
So, no, I'm not buying the Utah Jazz. every year we have this story of like a couple years ago, it was the Denver Nuggets got the number 1 seed and they went to the Western Conference Final. What happened? They basically got gentlemen swept. Every year we have a new team that's the darling of the NBA that's going to overtake them. No, they're not. We already know if the Lakers are fully healthy, Brooklyn's fully healthy, that's who's going to make the finals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to keep saying this, and if somehow the Clippers can find a way to play them outside the Western Conference Final, because I don't think the Clippers can make, because I think the Clippers won't beat a lot of teams, but I feel like they can beat the Lakers because they have Kawhi Leonard that can contain LeBron James. They have they don't have no one for AD, but they have everyone else. They have playoff Rajon Rondo back. We all saw in the regular season that Lakers had fits with the Clippers with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard and the great defensive that they are. Patrick Beverley's not the greatest defender as he used to be, but he's still a bulldog, and I hate him to death, but I would love to have him on my team. But he's like a Draymond Green to me. He's a crap starter.
He's like the Dennis Rodman who doesn't play the same type of defense like Dennis Rodman.
Exactly.
Just inside your head.
Yeah. So to me, it's like the Tom Brady effect, right? Like until you beat him or until you make it, I'm not picking you. I'm sorry. Until you beat Tom Brady's still going to win. Until you actually beat the man. That's just me. The guy's been to 8 Super Bowls. Utah Jazz have not been there. They have never won an NBA championship. I don't see how it's going to be any different this year. I feel like playoffs are a different animal. Regular season's all nice and all, but the playoffs are a different beast because you play the teams that's going to be every other night. It's not just one game. You get film on them, you adjust to what they're doing, and I feel like that's going to hurt the Utah Jazz in the playoffs.
Yep. I feel the same way. I agree with you 100%. I feel like good teams, rather, when they get to the playoffs, their weaknesses are exposed.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the Utah Jazz right there. I think their weaknesses will be exposed once they get to the playoffs. I mean, they're a good team, but they're not a great team. Not just yet, but they're on their way to something. They definitely have stars on that team. They definitely have guys who can shine. But is it their time to shine in the West? No, absolutely not. There's just too many better teams that can, beat them. And you mentioned those teams. And when it's time to play against better competition, I think the Utah Jazz will fall short at some point to the playoffs.
Now, if there was full occupancy in the fans, I would give them a shot. Just because it's hard enough to go up there with the altitude and then the fans on top of you as well. It's one of the loudest arenas in the league. They can get a game or two out of those fans. But without the fans, I just don't see it happening. I'm sorry. And I love Donovan Mitchell. I would love to see him win a ring. I really would. But I just don't see it happening. I just don't believe in this team.
Man. Utah, man, I think if I go there, I would have to put some earbuds in my ears or some plugs or something because that place is loud, man. It's so deafening in there.
And let's just be honest with ourselves. That's not the friendliest fans either. I think they've had a couple fans being ejected for racial slurs and stuff like that. They're not the friendliest. They're not the friendliest fans whatsoever. All right, let's take a little break right here. Let's talk about hot takes. We'll say this one for last. We'll save one of them for last. There's an order I wanted to go in. Tomorrow's opening day. Jonathan's favorite day. Holiday. It should be a national holiday for everybody. That's why I always hated when the MLB started on a week. It should start on a freaking Saturday or something. So we can all enjoy this or at least have the day off or whatever the case may be. But, Jonathan, MLB is starting tomorrow. What is your hot take for the MLB?
On opening day or just in general through the regular season?
Let's do this. I want to know who your MVP is and who's winning the World Series.
Oh, can I give you my Rookie of the Year?
And that you can do whatever you want to. Just give me some awards.
I think it's gonna be Bobby Witt Jr. Man, that guy is good. I think he's gonna get a spot on the team. Or if he didn't already, I haven't really followed anything Royals baseball, but I just like that guy as my surprise rookie. A lot of people think it's gonna be Ryan Mountcastle. You know who Ryan Mountcastle from the Baltimore Orioles. The guys, his last name sounds like a ski resort, like a beer or something, or like some kind of premier soccer team or something, Mountcastle. A lot of people are picking him, but I'm going with Bobby Witt Jr. only because I saw a glimpse of what he was able to do in spring training. And man, that guy can really swing the bat. He has a good eye. He makes great contact. He's a patient hitter. He's very patient at the plate. And it just feels like I just think he's going to have a great year behind the plate. I think he's going to be just a tremendous player to watch. So he's my rookie of the year. And then for MVP, man, a lot of people are saying it's going to be Corey Seager. There's a possibility if Corey Seager can stay healthy, and if he picks up from where he left off a year ago. He had an amazing postseason run. He had an incredible stretch where he was able to pile up some hits and drive in some runs, and he was just fun to watch. He was excellent last season. So I'm going to stay at home, and I'm going to go with Corey Seager as the MVP. I think the teams to look out for this year that could be a surprise. Well, I don't really think a surprise, but the team that I think is going to have a big year because of their upgrades is Toronto Blue Jays, man. I think they're going to be a great team to watch. They have Greg Biggio's son, who's I think is going to be a star in this league. You have Bosetti. I always mess up on his name, but Bosetti, he's going to be an exciting player to watch. And then, of course, you have Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s son. And then you have George Springer now. I don't think he's going to start the season because I think he's out right now with an injury. But when he does get healthy, he'll be around, and he provides that veteran presence for that team. Then they ended up keeping Robbie Ray, so he's going to be one of their starting pitchers. And then they have the former Dodger Ryu. They got guys that can pitch in that rotation now. So I like the Toronto Blue Jays' chances to be a threat in that AL East. That's one of my surprise teams. And then I also like, the Phillies to kind of have a bounce back year. I don't know how far they'll go because I think that's the toughest division in baseball. That NL East. I think it's going to be a tight race. I think it's going to come down to the last week in baseball, maybe, with all the talent there. But the Braves, I think the Phillies might get a wild card spot and surprise a lot of people. They're definitely not winning the NL East, though. I think that belongs to the Braves, because the Braves are locked in. They're loaded. They have two of the best top starting pitchers in the top of their order with Ian Anderson, and then you have Max Fried. Those guys were just remarkable last year as well. So I like the Phillies to surprise a lot of people and make a lot of noise. I think they had a disappointing year last year, and I think they look to bounce back from that disappointing year. So I'm going to go with them. And, the Yankees are going to be the Yankees. They're going to hang around. Of course, they have, Garrett Cole in their starting rotation. It sucked to see that Masahiro Tanaka went back to Japan. He went back to his native country. So they lose out on a pitcher who was not only good in the regular season, but was dominant in the postseason because he had those numbers. And then another surprise team that I like, the Angels, right here in Southern California. Do you agree with me? It looks like you do.
Yes, I was hoping you would end it, and I was going to talk about them.
Well, no, because I love baseball. So, but they upgraded their starting rotation. So, I mean, Jose Quintana, he's been amazing in spring training. And then last year they acquired Anthony Rendon. So that was a big bat to help with Mike Trout in that starting lineup. So I like the Angels to surprise a lot of people, and then they're well managed by Joe Madden. So, hey, my friend, you got the floor now.
No, I'm not going to go as long as you. I'm going to be straight up honest with my folks at home. I'm not in anywhere near baseball mode right now. My mind is freaking NCAA right now or the last 3 weeks.
I got
But I have I give you a couple. My World Series predictions is going to be MLB is going to love this. Dodgers and Yankees. The MLB needs this for everything. Two strong powerhouses that really need it, and I think if the Yankees stay healthy and it's whatever you say his name, if he can stay healthy and come back and give Garrett Cole a lift with the starting pitching, we all know what the bullpen can do. The only thing I hate about the Yankees, and that's my team, is they don't play enough small ball. They always try to go for the home run ball, and that's come back to bite them in the rear end a lot of times. But now the Dodgers, it's hard to get back to World Series. The only team that's done it lately is the New York Yankees and that great dynasty team that they have with Derek Jeter and all them, Marlon Rivera and all those players out there. So it's very hard for whatever reason for the team to reach back to the World Series. But I have faith in the Dodgers. I'm not a Dodgers fan. I just want the Dodgers and Yankees just for the magnitude and the hype of the World Series, because we all know baseball playoffs are one of the magnificent things in the whole wide world. I think it's one of the best playoff systems in all sports. You don't watch all the games because there's so many of them. I wish they kind of reduce it a little bit, but that's just me. I mean, whatever. But I just think that'd be great for MLB with everything that's going on. If you get those two fan bases in the World Series, you'll see a very much of a popularity in your ratings and everything like that. Because World Series is always competing with football, and football always wins no matter who's playing on Sunday night.
Yep,
so
always.
That's what I think. And I think the Angels, and I really hope Mike Trout makes the playoffs this year and goes far in the play, because that guy deserves it. That guy, I love Mike Trout. He's a great ambassador for the league. He deserves to go to the playoffs and then represent the Angels. And Joe Madden, whatever his freaking name is, Madden. He's a great manager. He's a player's manager, and players respond better to him. We saw that with the Chicago Cubs when they came back 3-1 to win their first World Series title in over a decade or a century. So that's what I think. And I think my MVP, I actually think Aaron Judge is actually going to win the MVP this year. I think he has a chip on his shoulder. I think he's going to stay healthy this year. That's the key. Can he stay healthy? He's a big boy. I just don't know if he can stay healthy, but I hope that he wins the MVP. That's my little bit of hot take. How was that?
It's a good hot take. That's really, really good. Another team that could surprise a lot of people before we move on is Chicago White Sox. I forgot.
Oh yeah, I have them. I have them facing the Yankees in the ALCS, and actually have 3 teams coming out of the East.
Nice.
To make the playoffs. I have Yankees, of course. I have Toronto Blue Jays, and I have Tampa Bay.
Nice. Yes, I like the White Sox chances. I like their starting pitcher, their ace, Lucas Giolito.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the only way the Angels make the playoffs if they win their division, which I think they easily can. That division's actually up for grabs because the Houston Astros aren't the same Houston Astros team as they were.
Right.
So I think the AL West is wide open. Who knows? The Rangers might make a surprise this year too. So
they might. And if Solani Ohtani continues to impress like he has in spring training, then the Angels have a strong chance.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's get to another hot take. Let's just get to where everyone really matters right now. No one really cares about the NBA right now. No one really cares about anything else. Well, maybe they care about baseball because it's starting tomorrow. It's the next big thing, like Jonathan. But we have a Final Four, baby. No one predicted this Final Four. I don't care what your bracket said. No one predicted UCLA. Maybe Jonathan did because he's a UCLA native guy, whatever. But no one had UCLA in the tournament. No one even had him reaching this round, beating Michigan State. But yet, here they are. Beat Michigan by 2 points last night by the hair of their chins. What is the biggest takeaway from UCLA? What is the biggest takeaway from this whole NCAA tournament?
UCLA. I mean,
oh, good God. I was trying to get you away from those homer picks, man.
Well, I mean, they're the only team that stand out right now because they really surprised a lot of people. And look, this is a team, Trey, that barely made it to the tournament. This is a team in some people's eyes that shouldn't have made it to the NCAA tournament. They lost 4 straight games entering the NCAA tournament. And look, now all of a sudden they won 5 straight games. They pumped Michigan State in the first 4. Then they beat BYU in the next round. Then they denied the Cinderella school, Abilene Christian,
That wasn't
and it went on.
whatever.
I mean, it went on from there though, and they've been riding the streak of confidence. They look unbeatable right now, and I mean, a lot of credit goes to Mick Cronin. Man, he's done a terrific job turning this program around. I mean, this program was down in the dumps for so long. They weren't the same team under Steve Alford. They looked like a team that had fallen into a pit of mediocrity, and they couldn't dig themselves out of that hole. And now that they got Mick Cronin, they finally have come back to life. I mean, it's great to see for Southern California fans because UCLA used to be one of the more dominant powerhouse schools in college basketball. And I had my doubts about Mick Cronin. I didn't think he was the right coach for this program. Well, he proved me wrong because he led them to the Final Four. He guided this team to the Final Four. And then you look at what the players have done. Johnny Zuzang, Tiger Campbell, the guy whose last name is named after Campbell Soup and first name named after rapper Tiger, I guess. I don't know. The guy with the Bob Marley looking like dreadlocks. I mean, this team is just been on this amazing journey. And I mean, you can't really take anything away from them. So that's one of my cool stories of this tournament. And then you have Gonzaga, man. They're just an amazing team, and I think they're going to beat UCLA. I think the run comes to an end for UCLA because Gonzaga, man, they just can beat you in so many ways. They have the best team from top to bottom. Drew Timmy is just on another level. I mean, no one could stop him. No one has an answer for him. He's a unstoppable force inside the paint. I mean, with his ability to use his feet, because he has nifty footwork, and also his patience under the basket allows him to get an easy bucket. I mean, there's just no denying him. And then you have Jalen Suggs, who's one of the best guards in the country. He's been just a spectacular player as well. So, I mean, Gonzaga's taking it all. No matter what anybody say. I agree with you when you say Baylor, because we talked about this before. You say Baylor's the only team that has a shot at beating Gonzaga. Well, I don't think they have a shot at beating them. I don't think anybody's beating them. I think they're going to run the table. They're going to finish the year unbeaten. But yes, I'm with you. Baylor does have stellar guard play. I will give them that. And they can challenge Gonzaga. They can't keep it close. I think that's the only game where Gonzaga will have a challenge is against Baylor. I think Baylor will beat Houston, and it will be Baylor and Gonzaga playing each other on Monday night. And I think Gonzaga will win the game, but I think it'll be a close game, a very tight finish, because Baylor is the one team I think that can keep up with them, but they will fall short.
Are you done?
Yeah.
I'm kidding. Yeah, UCLA's a nice one. Yeah, I didn't have them in my Final Five. I don't think they should have got in, but I thought Memphis should have been in over UCLA. I think Memphis should have been in over UCLA because they didn't beat Houston, but they gave Houston a hell of a run for their money the 3 times they played. And we all see what Houston is right now in the Final Four, which I kind of think is an asterisk mark a little bit because they faced all the double-digit seeds or whatever the case. I mean, they beat Oregon State, they beat all these whatever. But congratulations, Cougars! You beat whoever they put in front of you. That's all that you ask. I'm actually going a little bit Oral Roberts here. Oral Roberts was an inch away, from upsetting Arkansas and making the first ever 15 seed to make it to the Elite Eight. That would have been a story. And I think Oral Roberts was underseeded. I think they should have been a higher or lower seed, however you say that. They should have been a 15 seed. They should have been at least an 11 or maybe even 12 seed, if you want to believe that. Because that point guard, I forgot his name. I don't want to butcher. That's why I'm not trying to say it. That boy can play. That guy, I thought that 3-pointer was in when he was playing for Arkansas. Oral Roberts did a heck of a job. Can they repeat? I don't think so, because I think that head coach is going to get a better job offer somewhere else, and they're not going to have the same chemistry as you were before. UCLA is a nice story. What I personally, it's a Pac-12. And Pac-12 proved this year that COVID has made a impact more than we thought, because the Pac-12 was they played less games than everybody else. And you saw we were allowed 4 more games of regular season basketball. They would have like an extra week or 2 weeks. Everyone would have noticed that the Pac-12 was a great conference. And Bill Walton was right. Say what you want to about Bill Walton, but that was a good conference. You had Oregon, USC. Oregon shouldn't have been a 7 seed. They should have been higher. USC with the Mobley brothers, they kind of choked it a little bit. The Trojans did against Gonzaga, which I think everyone will. Gonzaga is just a great team. But the Pac-12 and all, again, a Final Four team out of that conference. Whenever all year we're talking about the Big 12, the Big 10. Let's stop talking about the Big 10, because guess what? There's no Final Four team in the Big 10. Let's just be straight up on. You can say what you want to about the Big 12. They have a team in the Final Four, so we got to give the credit where it's due. Pac-12 had 3 teams in the Elite Eight. That is unheard of. That I don't even think the Big East schools, back whenever they had all those great talented teams with the Syracuse, Georgetowns, back in the early 2000s when they had all those teams in, I don't think they even got 3 teams in the Elite Eight in their conference. So kudos to Pac-12. I think that's the storyline here, is that the committee got it right. The committee got the teams in that were right, and it's been one hell of a tournament. Yeah, we didn't see a lot of buzzer beaters. But we saw a hell of a good games. We saw the highest amount of teams, higher double-digit seeds make it to the Sweet 16, and that's a product of what wins in. That's what you're seeing in the Final Four too right now. Is what wins in March Madness is senior leadership and guard play. Well, hell. You have senior leadership at Gonzaga. You have a great guard player in Suggs, who's probably the player of the year in my estimation. He can play defense. He can lock down your point. That's why I kind of want to see the Gonzaga Baylor. I just hope to God this comes true, because if Gonzaga makes it in Houston, it's going to be it's over. I mean, it's not even going to be a fun championship. Houston can't score enough points. Baylor can, and you hit on something. Baylor can. The only X factor is going to be Timmy. Can they control Timmy? And that's the X factor. But Mitchell's another one for Baylor, the point guard. That guy is lightning quick. There's no one that can stay in front. That would be a great matchup between Suggs and Mitchell go one-on-one with each other. And if you take away Mitchell, you have Teague. And then you have Butler, the Big 12 player of the year. Their 3-headed guard play is unreal. And then you have the Mohawk guy coming, I forgot his name, coming in and shooting threes and line. In the end, they play outstanding defense as well. That's why I think they can beat Gonzaga. Yeah, I think they can beat Gonzaga, because until we all seen one bad game off shooting, not missing a key assignment here and there. But Gonzaga does one thing well. They move no one just stands still. They all move. Yeah. It's a beautiful game to watch. And so does Baylor. And it's just and we were deprived of this in the regular season because of COVID. And now here we are again. Same thing with the women, right? We saw if anyone watched that final Elite Eight matchup with Baylor and UConn, we were deprived of that matchup because of COVID reasons. We got to see it on Monday night, and that was a heck of a game. A controversial call, Major, but that's a topic for another day. But that was a heck of a game, and I just hope if God is watching this, we need Baylor and Gonzaga to make this tournament a complete success, because Gonzaga has been steamrolling over everybody, and they need a matchup. And Baylor's the only team I know that can match up well with Gonzaga. Did I say they can win? Yeah, they can win, but I still put my money on Gonzaga with that, because Baylor, both teams have kind of choked whenever they were supposed to make big impacts in the NCAA tournament, but they're both in the Final Four. We're one step away from probably the greatest, could be one of the greatest NCAA tournament games, I do believe. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be wire to wire. I think both teams can shoot the three very well. I think both of them can get out on fast break. I think they can defend very well. They can beat you on multiple styles. That's why I think Baylor and Gonzaga that's my hot take. They need, sort of like the NBA needs the Brooklyn Nets and the Los Angeles Lakers to play, right? They need these two teams to meet to make it a success story, and that's what's going to need to happen.
I think it's set to happen.
It is, but Final Four does some tricky things, man. I mean, no one thought Texas Tech was going to make it to the champion. I mean, they were an underdog and they almost beat it. I mean, college basketball is just. That's why I love the one and done aspect of the incident. That's why I also hate the one and done, because not always the best team wins. And Gonzaga has been the best team all year long. Can they hold on for 2 more games? That's what we're waiting to see.
Right. And it's rare that a team usually goes undefeated.
Yeah, I think the last team was at the Michigan Larry Bird's team.
I can't remember. It's so long.
I mean,
but there's been that have gone undefeated in the regular season recently.
Oh yeah,
like
they don't make them.
Kentucky, I think.
Kentucky win. They lost the Elite Eight.
Wichita State was another one.
They lost in the round of 32.
Yep.
But yeah, it's been a while since we had an undefeated team. We had it on the women's side with UConn for so many years and Baylor.
Oh yeah.
Not in the men's, but not in the men's. All right, our time is wrapping up. I'm not even going to go over these dumb topics. That some of them. I'm not going to. They're not here. I'm not talking. The Packer fans aren't here. I'm not talking about this right now. We'll get to that next week when it's closer to the NFL draft.
Friday, we meet again.
Oh, Friday. Yeah, we're back on Friday. I'm sorry. I'm not on Friday. But yeah, I'm sorry. You don't get to see this beautiful face on Fridays. I'm sorry. Let's end with this one. Can you see anyone overtaking the Lakers for the NBA title this year?
Yeah, if the Lakers are not healthy. But that's only if the Lakers are not healthy. If the Lakers are fully healthy, man. Look, I'm telling you, man, if LeBron and AD are both healthy,
oh my God,
everyone is back on the floor. The Lakers, nobody is beating the Lakers. I'm sorry. Nobody's beating the Lakers. But if there's one team that has a chance to beat them, I know you might slap me in the face for this one. You might punch me hard in the face for this one.
I might just walk up and leave.
The 76ers.
No.
Yep.
Don't hate it. Don't hate it.
Because look, Tobias Harris, man, is an unappreciated player. You know, he's underrated. No one's talking about how great of a season he's having. Then you have Joel Embiid when he's healthy. Before he went down with the injury, he was having a superb year, right? Ben Simmons,
MVP.
So the Sixers have a chance of beating the Nets. And I will say this to you again. I feel like something is going to go wrong with this Brooklyn Nets team. I just feel like this team is yes, maybe they're well balanced. Maybe they're the most complete team in the NBA. But this team is going to run into a roadblock because someone is going to, in that locker room, someone's going to explode, and there's going to be, ego trips and players not getting along. I just have that feeling. I just have that feeling that this team is going to implode at some point. I just don't see them all coexisting for the remainder of the season. I just don't see it working out. I mean, it's a lab experiment right now, but once the postseason come,
So you hit on if the Lakers are healthy, if Joel Embiid and the Sixers are healthy, if. See, this is why. See, Cowboys fans get a bad rap for always, we're going to win. We're the best team in the world, blah, blah, blah. And then never. Lakers, kind of the same page. They didn't win a championship for 10 years, and then people still like, whatever. I'm a Laker guy. I can ramble. I just don't like LeBron. Brooklyn is the best team in the NBA. I don't care if they butt heads or what. Kevin Durant's going to come back. We all saw what Kevin Durant did to LeBron James. Yes, it was with the stacked Warriors team. But
on paper, they're the best team.
That's what. Well, right now they're proving they're the better team. What are you talking about? Even without Kevin Durant,
they're proving they're the better team. But can they do that in the playoffs? Is the question.
That's the thing, and I think they can. I really do. I think, like I said earlier in the podcast, if you were listening, I do think that James Harden has. I'm not going to say mature because I never think that guy's going to mature. I think he's learned that he's. There's, like I said, there's no excuses for James Harden anymore. He's like, I haven't had the players. We don't have a good team. We don't. You have one of the best point guards and ball handlers in the league in Kyrie Irving.
Well,
you have Kevin Durant, probably the best shooter we've ever seen. Scorer we've ever seen. with this in the ball handling skills, like with 2 NBA championships. There's no excuses anymore. And I think James Harden is going to realize that, and I think that he's going to rely on Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving to get him there. Now, that is a lot of ego, but I trust Steve Nash. I just don't. And I honestly, and Freddie can argue with me all he wants to later on. I don't care. LeBron's getting old. Father Time is undefeated. This guy's never had a significant injury. He finally has a high ankle sprain. People say, oh, he's really not that hurt. You want to rest him for the playoffs. I call bull crap on that one because your team is like 2 games away from getting the 8th seed right now.
Yeah. And they're playing right now too. I don't know what the score is, but they're playing right now.
And you can't rely – we all seen Anthony Davis cannot lead a team. He can't. He can't. He's proven that. And he's proven he can't stay healthy.
I don't think LeBron could lead the Lakers anymore by himself. I think he needs help as well. So I said this before. I'm going to say it again. LeBron needs AD, and AD needs LeBron.
And you're right. And it still might not be enough because you have a 4-headed monster out there in Brooklyn who wants to win a championship. And I think Kevin Durant's going to do it. I really do. I think Kevin Durant's going to win 2 more rings in Brooklyn to tie LeBron. That's my hot take.
After taking the easy way out, joining teams is already stacked.
Anyway, that's our topics. I hope you enjoyed the show because we kind of mumbled a little bit. But we had fun doing it. I hope you did too. Jonathan, do you have any last words?
No, other than that, the fact that I'm ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's my national holiday.
Okay, well, remember when I was telling you when your daughter's 3 months now, when she gets 3 years older? Yeah. They have bad timing. And there it was right there. But we would do anything for our children. We love our children. Like tomorrow when you're sitting your butt on the couch watching Major League Baseball all day long on opening day, like I was on March Madness. The only thing that's going to interrupt you is your beautiful daughter, and I hope you enjoy it tomorrow, my friend. I'm going to be watching a little bit. So I honestly hope y'all enjoy that time. It's a special bonding. I already see your pictures and everything. Like, oh, she's already watching the game. She's already doing this. Hopefully it sticks because mamas have anything to do with it. It won't stick. So, but anyway, for Jonathan, for Trey, it's been real. This has been to Tell the Truth. Hope y'all enjoyed it. They'll see you. I won't be here, but they'll see. Jonathan will see you Friday night. Same time, same channel. Come check us out. Like, share our page, everything else. Be part of the show. We like to interact with the fans. But thank y'all again. I hope everyone has a great Easter, and I hope everyone enjoys their family this weekend. Until next time, guys. Peace.
Peace.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. Network. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.